Hey, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and today we're doing a Mercy Overwatch 2 skins tier list. Planning on eventually going through all the skins, but yeah. First off, we got Mercy Overwatch 1 skin, and looks pretty decent. Nothing too crazy about it. Like the weapons also look completely fine. Right, nothing crazy going on there. And yeah, I mean it's just a pretty decent skin. I will say the headband coming forward like this does look a little bit off. Doesn't look particularly amazing. But it's pretty hard to go wrong with, the classic Mercy skin. That being said, I have no clue where it is on this tier list. It's very hard to see. I think this one is it. Could be the Overwatch 2 version. No, I think the Overwatch 2 version is the bottom left. So yeah, I think it's probably, maybe even D tier. It's just kind of like the baseline. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad. Then next up is not this skin, but the Overwatch 2 skin. Looks pretty decent. They did make the headband way better. It goes over the back now. It looks a lot more natural. The colors are about the same. They're slightly different, but not in any real notable ways. The staff looks the tiniest bit more detailed and nicer in terms of colors. And then the gun, I don't really know if it is different. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I mean, this one's just like a straight up grid. I'd say it's actually pretty solid as far as the skins go. I'm going to put it probably in B tier. I think it's actually a pretty decent skin. Then next up, we have ourselves Sigrun. And this one's, yeah, it's like a Valkyrie Mercy. The staff is nice and customized. The whole shaft is completely different, and then the actual thing at the end's got some nice wings on it. It's a little bit more wooden because it's like a Viking thing. And the gun is also very wooden. This is being shown on the lowest settings, by the way. Maybe it's better on higher settings, but that's what I always play with, so whatever. But yeah, you got this cool little shield and sword in your back. You got the wings coming out like normal, but they're more metallic. And you got a different color hair. And just generally nice clothing. It's all around pretty solid skin. Not top of the line, but it's definitely very solid, very decently high up there. I'm gonna say it's probably deserving of A tier. I'll give it to him. It's a very nice alternate skin. Yeah. Then there's the clone version, Valkyrie. It's just a lighter version. The clothing is a little bit lighter. The hair is obviously lighter and different color. And the wings are a little bit less nice and metallic, but I guess a little bit, I don't know, maybe more realistic. I don't know if that's even accurate. And you can see instead of the brown up here, it's got a little bit of gold for the wings. Right, it's pretty nice. It's mainly just a different hair color though. I mean, the rest of it is pretty similar. And it's a decent side grid, but I think I like the other one a bit more. So I'm gonna put this one below it in A tier, if I could find it. This one. There you go. Next up, we have Devil. I'm personally not the biggest fan of this skin. I mean, you have the devil tail, I guess, and that's got its own wacky little physics. And then you have the little fiery wings with a tiny effect that you're never gonna see in game. But yeah, I mean, the horns don't look particularly nice, especially compared to the halo. The hair's not bad, that's fine. But the way this part here, the part of the clothing comes up by the hair, I think it's not that great. And the rest of the skin's not really anything crazy either, it's just basically a red suit. The staff is pretty generic. They didn't really change up anything at the top here, it's just a slight recolor. And the gun is also just a slight recolor. There's nothing really too crazy or really amazing about this skin. And honestly, I can say I prefer Overwatch 2 Mercy to this one. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I think it's better than Overwatch 1 Mercy, but that's really all there is to it. Then we have the Imp, which this is I don't know, it's a nicer recolor. I think the hair color and everything works together a lot better. The staff is a little bit more notably different, and so is the gun. Nothing too crazy. But I will say this one's notably better than the other one. I don't really know why, even though it should basically just be the same skin but a recolor. I think the way the colors mashed together make this part of the clothing not look that bad either. But it's also just nothing crazy good either. It's just kind of a bit better than its counterpart. Enough so, though, that I think I'm putting it into the bottom of D tier instead of C tier. Then we have Winged Victory. And this one, it's got a really nice like torch for a staff. And you know, it's also a pretty nice looking staff as well. The gun, nothing special. I don't know if any of these have a really special looking gun, but it's not really important because you almost never see that on Mercy. And the skin itself, you got these nice little like Olympic type leaf crown thing going on. Got the wing sandals, a pretty nice look all around. The hair is definitely a bit unique. The wings and feathers in the back are a lot nicer, I feel. And overall, it's just a really great skin, really hard to go wrong with. But also then again, I don't know if this is really the peak of Mercy skins, but I think it's really nice. I think it's a pretty good skin. I'm gonna put it up in A tier. I used this one for a while. Then we have Amber. This one's a basic recolor of Overwatch 1 Mercy, except it's like golden. That's all there is to it. I'm not the biggest fan of Overwatch 1 Mercy, but this recolor is a bit nicer, but I don't think nice enough to kind of put it on its own tier. I'm going to put it in D tier, but above the default. Cobalt is more the same, just a basic recolor. Honestly, I think Amber looked a bit nicer than Cobalt. Cobalt's just kind of whatever. Cobalt versus the original, though. Yeah, I think Cobalt's actually a bit of a downgrade. I know the weapons change for these as well, but they're just like basic recolors. This is the purple tier. I don't know. I think I'll actually move up the gold one into bottom of C tier, and I'll put Cobalt below stock. And since it's now paid and below stock, I'll just put it in F tier. You know, I'll do this. I'll move things around like that. Then next up is Edge Nawson. And this one is, you know, a little bit more than the basic recolor. You get a little plus on her chest, and then on the back here as well. Decent red recolor, and the staff with this color red actually kind of looks really nice. Reminds me of like, you know, Red Cross, you know, healer type of thing, which is, you know, that's what Mercy is. I still don't really like that headband all too much, but I do like the colors in this one a lot more. I think they go a lot better. And I'm gonna say, honestly, this one's probably low C tier. I can actually find it in the preview here. Why do I not see picture for this? Oh, there it is. Alright, then we have Snow Angel. This one was a Winter Wonderland Week 3 thing, which I'm surprised I even got it. It has a very tiny effect on the wings. I don't know if you guys can see it all that well, but there's like a tiny bit of snowflakes on the wings, and that's, I guess, what makes it special. Otherwise, you got a basic recolor here, you got a basic... Oh, this one's got a snowflake on it, it's a bit more basic recolor, but still nothing crazy. The halo is actually fully floating on this one. It's not attached to anything, but it's really hard to actually see that detail in game. I used this one for a while just because it was unique and like not many people had it. But honestly, in terms of it looking good, I don't think it looks too great. It definitely looks better than like the imp thing in C tier, but I think honestly Overwatch 2 Mercy looks a bit better than this skin. It's really nothing crazy, and its actual visual effect also isn't anything crazy. I'm gonna put it top of C tier. It's kind of cool that the halo is actually isolated on this one and it's floating off the skin. It's not attached to anything, but it's really hard to tell that that's the case, which is why I'm not gonna put any high. Then we have Fortune. This is just another basic recolor. I think Amber looks a bit better, but it's like it's a mix between like Amber and which Edge Nosen or whatever, right? It's a mix of that gold and red kind of combined together. The staff looks a little bit nicer, I guess, and so does the gun. Doesn't really look anything crazy, but yeah, I think there's like a little bit too many details with not a lot else going on for this to be really that crazy. Honestly, I think I prefer stock to this because the hair on this one doesn't seem to go very well with the rest of the skin. That's kind of a really defining feature I feel from Mercy. So I'm gonna put this probably not F tier, but just bottom of D tier. Then we have Infinite Seer, the most recent addition to the game, and I really like the look of this one. It's got a really nice looking staff, pretty nice looking gun. As far as the guns go, this is probably the best one we've seen. It's got even like a little icon there. And then I just really like the look of the main skin. Whatever that headpiece is called looks really nice. The like halo going all the way around with the little floating gemstone in the middle looks really nice. Really great color scheme, and really notable that this is a skin from like across the map. I don't have to guess like, you know, what's different. Like when I see this, I might have to think a bit for what's different. This one you can tell right away. It's got very nice colors, very distinct, very nice looking. Wings look pretty nice too, but yeah, just everything about this one I think it's really great. I'm a big fan of it. I have it currently equipped, and it's definitely an S tier for me. Then we have Honeybee. This one was like a reward for, well, not reward, but it was like a bonus for buying some credits last season. It looks pretty nice, right? You got a pretty decent looking blaster, a decent kind of honeycomb looking reskin for the staff, and the main skin is pretty cool. You got like almost like a bee in the hair. You have the honeycomb like leggings or whatever. Nice, just yellow main base, right? Makes it like a bee, and then these little headpieces that also make it a bee. Like a nice fuzzy warm skin. And I think it fits Mercy quite well. This, she's supposed to be like a warm healer, warm personality. She's kind of like a nice doctor type of vibe, and this kind of gets that vibe out pretty well, I feel. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go with probably an S tier for this one. I'm a big fan. Then we have Celestial. That's just Overwatch 1 Mercy, but like slightly blue. Yeah. And that's all there is to it. I think it's a better color of blue though than a Cobalt, and honestly a little bit better than stock, so I'm gonna put it top of D tier. Then we have Mist. This one's also basic recolor, but it makes it slightly more black, like it appears the original skin. Right, you have like a more of an orange color. Mist just makes it black, which I think is a bit more bland and a bit less nice, but not like, it's just kind of like a side grade. Right, it's barely worse than stock, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Orchid makes it purple instead. I'm more of a fan of yellow than purple, so for me, the yellow one from default goes above it, but yeah, these are all pretty interchangeable. The green one, on the other hand, I think looks really nice, especially for 25 credits. Like, these 25 credits are like 50 or something. It's really cheap with legacy credits. And, you get the recolors on the staff and gun as well, but they're basics. I didn't really think to show them off. But yeah, this one, I don't know. Something about the green looks really nice to me. Looks really unique. And just overall, really nice on the whole. So I'm going to go with probably, honestly, I think it's a high B tier. I know the halo's still in the wrong place, but outside of that, I really do like the way the colors work on this skin. Then next up, we got ourselves Witch, which I actually don't have. That's why it's down here. Everything from here on out, I don't actually own the skin for it somehow. Yeah, so Witch, you have a broomstick staff, which that's pretty cool. It's got a very nice, crazy design in the front, and the pistol just kind of looks basic, but that's fine. The pistol is not supposed to look great. Get this cool little book attachment. The wings look nice. Obviously, witch hats look great generally. Big fan of how witch hats tend to look on people. They look pretty nice. And then the overall skin also just looks pretty nice. Usual Mercy shenanigans. It's a very nice looking skin. It's really hard to go wrong with. The broom staff is also pretty nice. It's just a great skin overall, honestly. I can tell you, for me, this is definitely an S tier skin. Bit sad I did not get it during Overwatch 1 when it was pretty easy to get. Also a bit confused as to why I don't see it. There's not that many skins left, so I don't know why I don't see it, but it would be an S tier. That's kind of my point. I think I actually didn't take a screenshot of this to add it to the tier list, because I did this all myself. So I guess I messed up, but just know this would be an S tier. I'm a big fan of it. Probably, like, I'll use the alternate as a replacement. I'd probably put it above the Honeybee, but below the new one. That's where it'd be. My bad that I messed that up. Then we have Sugar Plum Fairy. And, I mean, yeah. Like an elf Mercy. This one's just kind of alright. I know a lot of Mercy players do really like this one. The staff does look really cool, to be fair. This thing's pretty dope. And then the pistol is actually pretty decent as far as the pistols go. But I don't like the main skin that much. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like elves or something. But for me, this one's just kind of alright. I'd say it's a decent skin, but nothing too crazy. So for me, that's, I don't know, probably lowish B tier. Then we have Silbum. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Got its own unique little staff here. its own slight difference of a pistol, which is pretty cool. And the main skin just looks like a nice, basic reskin. Oh, not basic reskin, it's not like a recolor. I don't know, it's just like an alternate form of Mercy, where she's more, I don't know what culture this is, like Korean or something, where they do the hair in a bun like this. It does have like a tiny effect on the wings as well, but it's, again, really hard. I've never seen an effect on Mercy skins in game, so like you can see it here in the hero select thing, but you're not going to see this in game ever. But yeah, just a basic kind of reskin, almost like an alternate universe version of Mercy, but nothing too crazy or anything. But for me, that's probably, realistically, I don't know, somewhere in the C tier, probably upper end of C tier. It's just like a side option. Not even like a side grade, just a side option. It's either better or worse, because the side grade is like, oh, it's basically the same, but just slightly different. This one is notably different, but it still has the same kind of vibe as the original, without doesn't have its own kind of feel to it. Then we have Zukwe. I'm definitely gonna get some flack for how I pronounce this stuff, but whatever. It's got a feather at the bottom of its thing. It's got a pretty unique looking staff. Pretty awful looking pistol. And the skin itself, I think, isn't anything too great. Can't really describe what I don't like about it or like about it at all, honestly. I guess it's all just a personal taste type of thing. But for me, it's nothing too amazing. So I'm gonna put it, I don't know, probably like above Imp in C tier. I think it's just a better version of Imp. Then we have Combat Medic Ziegler. Ziegler, yeah, I think that's it. You got a like, Syringe as a staff, which that's pretty unique. I haven't seen that really. It's got like fluids coming through. It is animated. I don't know if you guys can see the animation. It's just kind of like flowing up. Got a pistol that also has a little syringe on it, because combat medic, I guess. Got a bunch of little tools and stuff. A nice overall blue color scheme. Very nice. I think it's called beret, like the hat that she has on. Big fan of that. A different alternate hairstyle as well. I think this is overall a pretty solid skin, but definitely not like the top of what Mercy has to offer. So I'm going to put this thing definitely as the top of A tier though. I think it's one of the best skins we've seen so far, but just not, it doesn't have that special pizzazz that kind of pushes it over the top for me. Then we have Tragoon. This one's goofy. Got a pretty unique scaled like scepter as your staff. And then, nice little gun sight grid, I guess. The scepter, it's got a cool effect in the front, I guess, but I've never really seen that. And the skin itself is all scaled, dragon warrior princess type of thing. I don't know, it's not that great for me personally. I'm not a big fan of it. I can kind of understand people that might be a fan of it, but for me, it's nothing too crazy, nothing too awful. I think it just kind of falls in with all the stuff in C tier. Probably just middle of C tier-ish. It's just kind of alright. It's nothing too crazy, but definitely not awful. Then we have Mage, and this is it's witch, but it's like white instead of black. Right? There's more of like a right. Witch was about like, oh, the evil witch, with their evil broom and stuff. And then Mage is like, this is like the nice witch, the healer type of witch. Like the broom barely even looks like a broom. It's more like almost like a religious staff, although it still is a broom. Just because the recolored kind of does that. I'm personally a much bigger fan of more of the evil witch type of vibe than the nicer mage heal and mercy. I still think this one's pretty alright, but I think witch was notably in S tier. I think this just kind of falls along in A tier toward the upper end instead of S. That's just my personal thoughts. Then we have Royal Gladiator, the Overwatch League. I don't have all the Overwatch League skins. I actually don't have any of them outside of the specific ones, like the MVP ones. And this is one of those. It's interesting. I mean, it makes Mercy into like a bit of a knight. Just like a little flag on her staff, and it looks like a lance instead of a staff, right? Kind of like a jousting lance or whatever. The gun just has the gladiators on it, because I guess that's the skin. That's the team it's from. But yeah, I mean, it's it's all right. I don't think it's anything too bad or too crazy. I personally, I'd probably put it, I don't know, like high B tier. I don't think it's anything too good. I mean, it's got a nice purple color scheme, which I guess a lot of people might like, but I don't think the knight aesthetic really works that well with Mercy, who's like a doctor. It is definitely an interesting side grade to have, though. That's nice that it's available for those who want to give that a shot. Then there's the infamous pink Mercy that like everyone who ever plays Mercy desperately wants. And I don't know. I know a lot of reason they want it is because of like custom voice lines and stuff. But let's see. I mean, the staff, pretty unique looking. I know it has its own custom like animations and stuff. That's pretty cool. The gun is it's all right. I still think the best gun was from the thing at the top of S tier. But yeah, the basic skin itself, you just got like Twin Tail Mercy with a general pink aesthetic. I'm gonna get a lot of flack from this, especially from all the Mercy lovers, but I don't really like this one as much as they do. I still think it's a pretty nice skin, very nice recolor. The headband, everything at the top looks really nice. But I don't think it has that kind of uniqueness that I like from all the things I have in S tier. So for me, it's honestly more of a high A tier type of pick. Probably above Mage, but below. I honestly like Combat Medic Saga a bit more than Pink Mercy. Yeah, I think it's a solid A tier choice. I can see why a lot of Mercy fans really like this. To be fair, I think if I take into account all the custom animations and voice lines, this would probably go a bit higher. But since I don't own this skin, and I have no real way of testing that, and that would require a lot of effort on my end to see, I'm keeping it in A tier, because just from looks alone, I think it's an A tier skin. Then we have Mika. I've seen this one a lot. A lot of people use this one. It's from Season 1 Battle Pass. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty nice. I don't know what these things are up here by your chest, but they look kind of nice. They got a nice fuzzy type of vibe to them. The little bird headband thing looks pretty nice. The Kiriko style hair looks pretty cool. The black wings and the red dress go really well together. And it's more of a dress rather than like a tarp like Mercy normally has on. And that's also pretty unique. It's just a very overall unique skin. The staff is almost like bird with like 3 wings or something. It's got this little jingle bells on the bottom there. Maybe they make noise in game or something. And then the gun is probably the first unique gun we've seen. It's actually got like wings on it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's overall really nice looking skin. Very, very solid color scheme. Like if you've noticed on this tier list so far, anything that's like pure red or pure white is generally rated a bit higher than the other stuff. So a mix of red and white and also black, I think works really well. A big fan of how this kind of comes together. And I'd say honestly, probably low S tier. I can see why a lot of Mercies use this because it just looks great. It's very unique, very nice colors, very nice design, and it's just overall really nice. And then our final skin is Owl Guardian. This one's sometimes in the shop, and there's no other way to get it to my knowledge. It's like a side grade. It's like Mercy going to a masquerade ball type of thing. Masquerade? I don't know what you call it. The gun is one of the more unique looking things, but like I said, that really doesn't matter for Mercy. You never see that anyway. But overall, this just kind of looks like a side grade to Overwatch 2 Mercy, which that is pretty unique because there's no other side grade to Overwatch 2 Mercy. But honestly, I don't think the mask does it any favors, and the overall color scheme isn't particularly amazing. I think it's just barely better than default Overwatch 2 Mercy. So I think it belongs, in the middle of B tier. And yeah, that's really all there is to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know if that makes it easier to see or harder to see. I don't know how that's stretching all that. But yeah, I hope this was enjoyable to watch. And if you like it, make sure you both like it and leave a comment saying that you enjoyed it, because otherwise I don't really know if you did. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll probably do at least one more of these.